Good morning, everyone. Today I want to remind you that every day is a blessing. So as we sing today, remember that we are too blessed to be stressed. Yeah. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Not gonna let me get me down. Not gonna let it push me over. Not gonna let it run me around. Cause I know the truth. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Doesn't matter what's on the news. You can't make my mind up for me. I can't hear me sing the blues. Cause I know the truth. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I am grateful for every breath I take. I am grateful I am wide awake. I am grateful for each passing day. I am grateful. I am grateful. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Don't you know? I'm so blessed.
Good morning and welcome to our Sunday celebration. As always, I am Reverend Richard Pacheco, also known as Rev Rich. And as always, not only grateful but honored that you have chosen to be here and share the next 45 minutes to an hour with us, as well as I do believe you are divinely guided to being in this place and this time. We are continuing our series on the Karate Kid parts 1 through 4. This one's actually titled The Next Karate Kid, which a lot of people still kind of push off as it's not part of the Karate Kid world. Kind of like they say with the Jackie Chan version of this, where it's Kung Fu rather than karate. But either way, I do think that it kind of ties in, not just because of Mr. Miyagi, but that same hero's journey that's happening. So I'm glad you joined us today. Hopefully you got something from all the other notes. And let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and take a moment just to pray in and just be grateful for the fact that we've been given this time and this chance to be guided to this place so we can be here and open-minded and open-hearted, ready to learn, ready to receive whatever the lesson is for us for being here today. We are grateful for those of you who are here live. We are grateful for you who watch it later. And we are truly grateful for just having the knowledge to share with you, not only that I can give you, but that I can receive from you, as we are all each other's teachers. And we know that the work we are working toward is already being done. And we say it is, and so it is, and so we let it be. And we say amen.
Been a storm brewing inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to. Feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something that I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call and it's asking, what am I here for? 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 They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. It feels like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go. Got this feeling deep inside that when I get there I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something that I've never done before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call and it's asking, what am I here for? 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 I wanna make a move right now, though I don't know when or how. When I trust and know the truth, my heart will point the way. There is more of me to share, so today I do declare I will take that step in faith and let my light shine. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something that I've never seen before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call and it's asking, what am I here for? Feel the call of something more. I feel the call and it's asking, what am I here for? 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 Yeah. Just love. Just one.
And as with the song, a call for something more, we take this moment in meditation as we close our eyes if you feel so comfortable. If not, just slightly take a soft gaze downward as we take a breath in, knowing that we are here in this moment. We relax ourselves. We release anything that's not working within ourselves. We allow our shoulders to drop. We allow all the tension in our body to kind of wash away as we take each and every breath. And with every breath, we become more aware that we are one with all that is. We take another breath knowing that we are in a time, in this place, in this present moment where we release the past, knowing it no longer serves us. And we release the future as we know that it will unfold with the work we do today. We breathe into this moment knowing that we release the outer world, for it has no place within ourselves. As we use our human experience, we tap into our spiritual experience, which is within us. That divine spark, that Christ conscious, that Buddha nature, that God within, whichever it is for you. We allow it to inspire you. And we know the word inspire means to breathe in, to breathe into. As we continue to tap into that source, that principle, knowing that all that is will be revealed. We release any needs, no matter the fear, the anxiety, no matter where we are. We release those needs, knowing that all that we need for this journey is already inside us. We take a few more deep breaths as we settle into this moment. We begin to feel that inner peace, knowing that if God is peace, then we are peaceful. We know that God is love, and we are loving. And we know that God is the source of all abundance, and we are abundant. And we know that God is health, and we express that same health through ourselves. We know that there is no separation in this place. We know that we are one with all that is. We know we're holy because we are whole. We release any thoughts of lack and limitations. In this moment, we release all thoughts of lack and limitations. We allow our human experience and our spiritual experience to become one. And we learn that it is through our experience that we choose how we react. And when we come from a place of love, we come from that place of not the emotion of love, but the power that's innate in all of us in love, that we react rightly. As Eric Butterworth says, it is not our job to make it right, but to see it right within ourselves. We forgive ourselves for those things we reacted to wrongly and to those things that we acted upon wrongly. And know that we release those things as well. Because it is in releasing that we surrender. And we surrender to all that is ours, all that's already being delivered to us in that small, still voice. And let's take a quick moment just to sit and listen for that voice within ourselves. as we return to this time and this place, we know we are grateful for all of it. We feel that appreciation for truly knowing who we are and being on this spiritual journey. And let us end this meditation with the words from our daily word from yesterday. And the word is adventure. And our affirmation is spiritual living prepares me for adventure. And our prayer is each of my experiences from low to high, from humble to grand, affords me the opportunity to live from my spiritual nature and use my divine gifts. My life is an adventure in spiritual growth. As I call upon these gifts of spirit to meet every need in my life and to realize every dream in my heart, I tap into the power of God and I am strengthened and energized. As I grow in confidence, I discover the power of divine gifts. With faith and trust, I fully embrace my pleasant experiences and facing up my challenges now. I am adventurous in expressing myself with joy and confidence. My assurance grows as I draw forth from my spiritual nature all the qualities I need to boldly move ahead on my journey. And from our Christian scriptures, Timothy 1:4-14, do not neglect the gifts that is in you, which was given to you through prophecy with the laying on hands of the council of elders. And we say thank you, and so it is.
Heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. It's a living from some ocean. I hope you dance. I hope you whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope
So again, love the music we've had today. I think it really ties into our lesson today. I hope you're enjoying it as well. You know, I hope you dance just exemplifies principle number 5, because it's not enough to sit and play victim, and people hear that and it's like a bad thing. It is a part of our consciousness. And we forget that sometimes. When we talk about the 4 levels of consciousness in unity, we talk about the first one being victim. It's where we believe everything happens to us. And we see that whether it is our relationships, whether it's our friendships, whether it's whatever. My wife used to always say, nobody wants to be wrong. And then I found a quote to kind of counteract that said, don't lead your need to be right to stop you from being the best you. And that's what we work on here. When we come together in these lessons, it's not about just informing you about all this knowledge that we have, or the years of ministerial school that I took, and the years that ministers that have been my mentors out there to throw information at you. It's about helping you find that path, because we don't carry all the information or all the knowledge. We use things and tools to help you find that journey for yourself. I was talking to someone recently about, life coaching and all that. And they're like, well, how do you work out a life coach? I said, whether it's a ministerial meeting or a life coaching meeting, if somebody tells me that they're experiencing some kind of feeling or whatever, my next question is, well, okay, let's follow up with that. What happened? What was going on? Why? Because I don't have the answers that are inside of you. But my job is to help you find that and to help empathize with you. But the first thing we need to do is surrender. So now that I've babbled for 5 minutes ago, but I thought we were talking about Karate Kid here. I think that exemplifies what this movie was about, the next Karate Kid. So of course we've had 3 movies with Daniel-san, Mr. Miyagi going through the adventure. And as I said, movie number 1 reminds me of my entry into Unity. I'm a new person. It's exciting. It's new. And Daniel-san gets to a new place. He doesn't like it. Gets to high school, figures he's going to be big man on campus. And then he runs into a girl. He's got her smiling and talking. And then it all starts to go downhill from there. And it took him to go through some trials, do the work, to come to the end, to become successful. In Karate Kid Part 2, he ends up in a new world. How about us leaving Unity? We're no longer safe within the halls of the sanctuary. We're no longer safe in the community of just Unity. We're actually out in the world now. We're taking all of this that we learned out in the world, where people are looking at us going, what are you talking about? How strange is it that you're saying that? Oh, you're one of those people. And it isn't until we can show what we know at the end, where Daniel-san again comes out victorious at the end in a fight for his life. In Karate Kid Part 3, we see Daniel he's good at what he does. And we've done the same thing here. I say that Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith and his visioning process, we call it victim, and then we call it victor. He calls it manifester, because in his teachings, the next level over victor is that we have learned to overcome the things that feared us. We have learned to overcome the things that, and we're out in the world now. So now we got this ego. We're bad. We know what we're doing. And we're manifesting, and we're telling people all over the world about how we do this, we do that. And then something comes and knocks us right off our feet, because now we're going to fall back from manifester back to victim. And when I learned consciousness, it's something that opened my eyes, because I realized that in Unity we teach victim to victor, but to continuously be a victor, to overcome on ourselves, not tapping into anything outside of us. we have to continuously be that victim. And I have found myself in conversations where people love to blame and love to that, and I try to instill in them, take a look in the mirror, because I had to do this. The hardest thing in the world is to look in the mirror and say, what part did I play in that? What part did I play in it? And because I can do that, then I know now how I reacted to something, which may also something I need to work on. And most important is forgiveness. And that moves us into the next Karate Kid. Because here we find Mr. Miyagi's visiting the wife of a friend of his who had helped him in the time of war. And they were war veterans and they were honoring people. And Mr. Miyagi was there. And his grandmother was going through a lot. The girl's grandmother, because now it's a girl. It's no longer Daniel-san. The main character now takes on Julie-san. Now she's the only one that hasn't shown up in Karate and Cobra Kai yet. So we have our fingers crossed to see if she shows up in one of our series. But the point is, here it is. We have a young lady who lost both her parents. And she's holding on to this anger. And this anger translates into how she reacts to things in the world. And she found one focus in life, and this was this injured hawk that she took care of on the school grounds. But she had this wall up that just stopped her from loving anything else or really getting to it. You can see in the relationship between her grandmother and herself how she keeps pushing her away. Even though she admits to her that she knows it's angry, it's about getting behind the defensive. And when we think we're right by holding on to this anger and continue to hold on to it, we know how it treats us. We know that the Buddha said, holding on to resentment or anger for someone else, it's like drinking poison and hoping they die. Makes no sense. We hold on to that anger, we hold it in, and it becomes like burning, almost like a burning fire. I know what it is to hold on to anger and unforgiveness when even I was making myself sick. And I had to let that go. I had to learn and do the work behind forgiveness, most importantly for myself. And this is where we find the storyline. Because as any hero's journey, you have to have your enemy. You have the alpha team, whatever they were in the high school, being led by, this colonel, and he was, had all these wild ideas about how, things were being done and how the world worked and how you had to be brave and you had to overcome and be better than everybody else. And it translated into the people that were in his team, except for one person who knew he had to break away. He only joined because he thought he could get something out of it. And it turned out that they were totally wrong. So we come back to that point that I made in Karate Kid Part 3. They have to come to themselves. Well, in an incident, Julie-san, as he called her, gets suspended from school, and Mr. Miyagi decides to take her to a Zen monastery where she learns patience. And I love the opening scene of getting to the monastery because they get there and it's not like anybody's home. You come, you knock on the door, somebody opens the door, you ring the bell, and you sit in patience till they come and get you. And if you notice in the movie, he'll go there, ring it, and it's already almost sunset when they finally bring them in. But it shows patience and appreciation for going in. Now, again, Julie-san has this anger within her. And because, like most of us, we see a bug and people want to kill it, she kills a bug in the Zen monastery. The monks get up, walk away, turning their backs on her. She doesn't understand what's going on. And Mr. Miyagi explains that because of all the violence in the world, within the monastery walls, all life is precious. And in this case, there would be no killing, no death within the monastery. Unwarranted, I should say. And they walk away, and she has to come to terms with all of this. So she's got this very zen, very calming area. Mr. Miyagi starts to teach her some martial arts in the Zen garden, and that's where the sand and the rock and all of that. And he's showing her something and tells her patience and working on it. And it's the same thing with us. We come into this world and we have these problems and we think that everybody needs to act the way we want them to act because that's the only way we know how to react correctly. I think it's Brene Brown has done the most wonderful work on surrendering, allowing ourselves to be our true selves by stop being our ego self. And the ego self is not a bad thing. I've heard people say you got to die to the ego. The ego is nothing. It's just an individualized formation of who we think we are based on what the people around us, about society around us has told us and made us believe. You know, people love to blame their parents, but we don't realize that the parents did the best they could with what they knew. Connie Podestra, I remember doing a live session that my wife and I attended at the Success Symposium, said it best. She goes, you know, once you turn 18, that blaming your parents needs to stop. You can make those decisions to not be exactly as they are and to choose what works and so forth and so on. You know, I think a perfect example is, you know, today my daughter and I were having a conversation about how her friends saw how prosperity and abundance works when you're truly one with the universe and how it begins to unfold in front of you. And her friend was like, oh my God. And it's like, so my daughter was natural. And this is something that's been happening to me for ages. But see, I also had to work on the part of the ego that said, hey, for every good thing that happened to me, obviously, there's got to be an equal and opposite reaction. So something bad is about to happen. I had to break away from those thoughts. In Julie's son, you see that same thing. Every time she thinks something good is happening, something bad happens. She was getting suspended. She's being chased. She's being arrested. She's being whatever. All because she's trying to do a good thing with the hawk or whatever it was. And Mr. Miyagi brings her back in that Zen mode of understanding. And we see that as she's walking through the field and she sees a praying mantis. And she picks it up and brings it back and goes, look. And the monk takes it from her, places it on the tree and says, good, Julie-san, good. Letting her know that she's coming into ourselves. How many times do we have to go through that same journey? Because it's easy for us to point fingers. But as the old adage says, for every one we point out, there's 4 pointing back to us. Well, technically 3 in the thumb, but that's a whole different technical side of things. We love to put the blame outside of us because it's easier to say it's somebody else's fault than it is ours. But I can tell you the miraculous healing that you do. And yes, I'm talking about healing from an emotional part when you truly tap into yourself. When you stop looking at the lack and limitations, but looking at the abundance that you already have in your life. When you are grateful for the things that we have. We always use the example, as Jesus performed miracles, he would thank the Father first. He'd always give thanks as it's already done. We all have challenges. We all have feelings of anxiety. We all have things within ourselves that we must work. And the journey continues. So we know later on in the movie, Julie-san invites the monks and Mr. Miyagi does a demonstration with the, if I'm correct, the Japanese word is Kyoto, or Kyodo, which is the art of archery. Where he actually catches an arrow that's being shot at his chest. She invites the monk as part of her wish for her birthday. They come, they joke about the Zen and the being in one sense with bowling. So who would think we got monks here, we're practicing the presence and they beat the people who are talking a lot in bowling. Now, of course, the movie has to come to a climax where there's a big fight at the end, but it's the same principle. Because of having to come to yourself, sometimes having to prove to yourself that the work we do is already done, that we already know, that as long as we're doing the work, we are good enough. I want you to look in the mirror and say, I am good enough. I am great enough. I've had to do a lot of work on myself personally to get to where I am today. It is a slow process. I work it every day, and I know that I have to work it for myself. But it is within working with myself that it affects the people outside of me. So yes, my drive is not only to work on myself, to be myself, but to be the best for the people that I influence around me. But at the end, the only person I can control is me. The end, I can only do what I do for me. So as we take this pause today, as we take the end of the series today, the things we have talked about, forgiveness, one of the most important parts of our lives is forgiveness, and knowing that we need to forgive ourselves first. We need to allow ourselves to release so that we are now open-minded and open-hearted to receive what is ours to do. Then we must come onto ourselves. And I'm not talking about listening to the commercials, or as my Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith also has said, TV stands for tell-a-vision. It's actually telling you what your vision should be. Be of service to someone. Helping someone. In the next Karate Kid, Julie Song was serving the Hawk. She wanted to help him heal. And at the end, she helped her fly away, or him. I'm not sure if the Hawk was a girl or a guy. But she let him fly away and she was free. So with that being said, we understand that. Release, surrender. Tap into who we truly are. Tap into that Christ consciousness. Tap into the God within ourselves. Knowing that we are being led. We are not alone, even when we feel like we're alone. I've chose for many years to serve many, but mainly I've forgotten to serve myself. And those are the lessons that I am learning now. And as a minister, my job is to share that with you to help you find that same journey. So I hope you got a lot from this 4 lessons of Karate Kid. Like I said, hope you enjoyed the movies. If you haven't watched them, go watch them. Check out the new series on the Cobra Kai. I think we're in season 6 now, or we're waiting for season 6 to be released. So go out there, do the work, and that's the most important. Principle number 5. It's not enough to know the truth, but you must live that truth you know. To me, you are the most important person in my life other than myself, because I know I have to be the best me for you, and I ask you to work on being the best you for me. I love you all, and I bid you namaste.
Everybody got a little something you can only bring. It's a puzzle, put it all together. Need every piece to make it complete. Yeah. Every note to make a symphony. All the voices singing harmony. All the colors of the rainbow shining. Everyone, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. To a world with a little more love. Like a tiny little grain of sand. What you do, what you say makes a difference. Go ahead and reach out your hand. Open the door, say hello. A stranger today, you might get to know 'em. A little love just keeps on growing. Change your life without even knowing. Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. To a world with a little more love. Situation.
As always, I'm grateful. I hope you got something from that lesson today and the song itself. Love is what we need in this world. And when we talk about love here, we're talking about the power of love, the 12 powers that Charles Fillmore has introduced to us as our innate power. So I hope you tap into that. I hope you enjoyed the series on how our unity journey works within our the Karate Kid movies and that hero's journey that Joseph Campbell checks out. So as always, check out more of Joseph Campbell, whether it's YouTube or his books. Again, if you haven't watched any of the Karate Kid movies, go ahead and do so. I also tell you, if you enjoyed them, go ahead and start watching the Cobra Kai series, as there's a lot of memories that come back, for me at least, from watching parts of the series, but as well as it answers questions that were never answered in the movies. So you'll truly enjoy that. So as always, this is a time that, we've given to you in lesson and inform, and it's your time to go ahead and enjoy the practice of giving and receiving. So at this point, if you have a gift, whether it's toward us or any spiritual center, go ahead and hold it in your hands. If you've already given, it's okay. As I said before, Eric Butterworth always says it's our job to see it right. So let's see it in our hands and our hearts as we affirm together, divine love as me, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I circulate, and the knowledge of all that I am. And so it is. And we are grateful because we know the work is, the gifts that we receive is going out there to do the work it's meant to do. And we say thank you, and thank you. So again, I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad you join us either live on Sundays or sometimes during the week, but that you get the lessons, you take the lessons and put them into action. Because starting next week, we begin our talks on the 5 principles. And I always say principle number 5 was one that changed my life, because it's not enough to know the truth. We must actually live the truth. So join us next week as we begin our journey through the 5 principles of unity, and how on this journey that we just prepared you for through the use of movies will begin your journey next week through the principles. So with that, as I always say, love you, nothing you can do about it. And let us join together as we say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us, and wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are so grateful, and so it is. And I will see you on our next